What is up, Sexy Beast? Crazy Rabbit here, and today we're going to be doing the top 5 most hated wonder weapons in Call of Duty Zombies, so let's go ahead and get this shit started. So this is going to be everything from World War to Black Ops 3, and this whole list is not going to be my opinion. I asked you guys on Twitter, which wonder weapons do you guys hate the most, and a lot of people responded, so thank you to everyone who responded. And if you guys are not following me on Twitter, it's Crazy Rabbit, link will be in the description. And just because a weapon is on this list does not mean it is a shitty wonder weapon, it just means it's kind of disliked by the community. And taking the number 5 spot is actually going to be my personal opinion. This was something that no one actually voted for, but it's a weapon that I happen to hate. The rest of the weapons on this list are all stuff you guys voted for. And coming in number 5 is going to be the Liquefier. Now, before you raise your pitchfork and torches, before you comment, Rabbit, you bald-headed fucking hentai creepy pervert, man, I'm not saying that the Liquefier is a terrible wonder weapon. Far from it, it's one of the best wonder weapons. Well, it doesn't do an infinite amount of damage, but it's still going to last you till around 100. So it is a really good wonder weapon. But I'm not a huge fan of it. Number one, it's a buildable, and I just don't like buildable wonder weapons, man. I just want to be able to get it from the box. I know you can get it really early on, but I don't want to have to remember where all the parts are. Like, if you were to go ask me to play Die Rise right now and build it, I would probably spend like 20 to 30 minutes trying to find all these damn parts, because off the top of my head, I cannot remember where they are. I would have to go look it up, and that means I have to do stuff, and I'm a lazy piece of shit, and I don't want to do that. And the main reason I don't really like this wonder weapon is because of that little jizzy stuff that it shoots on the ground. You slip and slide all over the fucking place, and it always ends up fucking me over. It always pushes me into a horde of zombies. It always throws me off the damn buildings and Die Rise. I feel like if you get rid of the slipperiness from the jizz and you get rid of the map that it's on, I would love it a lot more, but just because of the map that it was on and just because you can't actually slip and slide, I'm not a huge fan of it, and it really kind of annoys me majority of the time when I actually use it, so that's why I put it on this list. I understand it's a great wonder weapon, I will acknowledge it, I'm just not a huge fan of it. So taking the number 4 spot is going to be the Winter's Howl, and I can understand why a lot of people really don't like this wonder weapon. Mainly just because it's very, very weak. I think the ray gun might actually be a little bit stronger than this. Either that or they're very close to it. But the disadvantage that the Winter Howl has over the ray gun is it doesn't carry as much ammo as the ray gun, and you're really only going to be able to kill like maybe 1 or 2 trains of 24 on high rounds, and then eventually it's not even going to do anything. So the Winter's Howl is a very, very bad wonder weapon. I think it starts pooping out, I want to say like the 30s or 40s, I can't exactly remember the round it stops working. But against zombies, it's a very bad wonder weapon. But against the Pentagon Thief, it does some work. It can get rid of the Pentagon Thief really, really fast. I understand why a lot of people hate this weapon specifically. I mean, there's a couple other wonder weapons that really suck, but a lot of people seem to really hate this one, and that's because of the map it's on. 5 is a very hard map to get to high rounds because the only traps are located in spawn, and it's very hard to cycle there, and it makes it even harder when you don't have a proper wonder weapon. So I can definitely see why people take their frustration on 5 out on the Winter's Howl, because without a proper wonder weapon, it's really hard to get to high rounds. So taking number 3 spot is going to be the VR11. Now this one I kind of don't agree with. I think the VR11 is actually really, really good, but a lot of you guys seem to vote for the VR11, and I completely understand why. If you're playing with 2, 3, or 4 people, it's a really good wonder weapon, definitely one of the best. But if you're playing solo, it's a piece of shit. It doesn't really do anything. Even if you shoot like the zombie a couple times and make him explode, he's really not going to be able to kill anything, and you really don't carry that much ammo to where you can like turn the entire horde of 24 into humans. And really the only thing it's good for if you're playing solo is getting rid of George, but if you want to go to high rounds, you want to keep George on the field and actually kill him by yourself, so that way you get the Wunderwaffe. So literally in solo, there's almost no reason to have the VR11. It's almost pointless unless you want to do these tricks. There's absolutely no other reason to have the VR11 unless you're just kind of fucking around so that way you can get rid of George. But if you're going to high rounds, you need George on the map, so the VR11 is 100% pointless in solo, and I can definitely see why a lot of people hate it. I hate that aspect of the VR11, but I don't despise the weapon like a lot of other people do. I would really love to see this thing return and actually work solo, similar to how it works in multiplayer, or I mean with actual other people's, I don't actually mean in multiplayer. So I don't really hate the VR11, but I can definitely understand why a lot of people do, and it really doesn't help that the only other wonder weapon in Call of the Dead is the Scavenger, and the Scavenger doesn't work on high rounds either. So in this list, you're probably going to notice that a lot of the wonder weapons people hate are weapons that really just make it unbearable to either play zombies or actually get to high rounds. So taking number 2 spot is going to be the World at War Wunderwaffe. So when I first asked this question, I really didn't think the World at War Wunderwaffe was going to be on here, just because it kind of slipped my mind the little side effect that it has. So if you guys never played World at War and you never experienced the Wunderwaffe glitch, let me give you a little insight of it. So back in the day in Derice, if you happen to get Jug, and you happen to have the Wunderwaffe, and you happen to electrocute yourself with the Wunderwaffe, you lose Jug. And not lose Jug as in the perk goes away, I mean you lose Jug permanently. The icon still stays there, but there is no way for you to have its effect unless you want to down yourself. And that's only possible if you're playing with other people. If you're playing solo, and you happen to electrocute yourself with the Wunderwaffe, and you have Jug, you're screwed. There is no way you're going to be able to get your jug back. Quick Revive in World at War does not have the same effect as it does in Black Ops 1, 2, and 3, so there's no getting Quick Revive, downing yourself, and then getting yourself revived. There's none of that, so basically you were fucked, and the Wunderwaffe was a huge liability. It was something that, if you're playing solo, you want to stay as far away from as possible, which means if you want to go to high rounds, you have to use nothing but traps, and you have really no weapon to protect yourself, which kinda does suck. But I remember always experiencing this Wunderwaffe glitch, and it was just a huge pain in the ass to where at one point, I just stopped buying perks altogether, because in my mind, I was like, I'm just gonna lose jug, and I have to go down and buy my perks again. That's just stupid. I'm not gonna buy anything. So I just stopped buying perks, and that's actually how I got that Perkaholic Anonymous achievement, was just because the stupid damn Wunderwaffe kept taking my jug, and I was like, fuck it, I'm not going to go through this every game, I'm just not going to buy perks. So the World at War Wunderwaffe definitely, I think, kind of deserves to be on this list. It was very rage-inducing back in the day. Alright, and take the number 1 spot, did you guys even have to guess? It's going to be the jet gun. Do I need to really explain why a lot of people hate this wonder weapon? It is absolute garbage. It was the first sort of buildable wonder weapon we've ever seen, and you'd think after Transit they would kind of learn their lesson about buildable wonder weapons, but they didn't. But hey, at least they didn't make something as bad as the jet gun. The jet gun is just a terrible wonder weapon, but at the same time, it's also one of the best wonder weapons in Zombies history, and let me explain to you why that is. So the jet gun is a buildable, which sucks huge ass, which means you have to actually go around the map and build everything, and if you happen to break the jet gun, you gotta build it again. And it's also very dangerous, and it's also very time consuming. It's gonna take you like a minute and 40 seconds for this thing to fully recharge, and you have to actually have it out if you want to recharge. If it's just chilling in your back pocket, it's not gonna recharge, so you're just kind of wasting your time if you're doing that. And you're really not the fastest person in the world when you actually have this thing out. And whenever you want to use it, your mobility is basically fucked. It's very hard to move when you're actually using the jet gun. It's very hard to like control where you're going. And this thing is not going to kill everything in front of you immediately. So in this clip you're watching right now, I actually didn't mean to die. I wanted to use the jet gun for as long as possible until I could break it, not until the zombies would down me. I thought the jet gun was actually going to be able to protect me, but I was completely mistaken. It did the exact opposite. And with all these cons, you might be wondering, how is the jet gun any good? And the reason for that is because it does do an infinite amount of damage, and you basically have an unlimited amount of uses for it. Since it doesn't require ammo, and the only thing you have to really do is recharge, over time you would get more kills with this wonder weapon than almost any other one in Zombies history. So in a way, it's one of the best wonder weapons in Zombies, and it's also one of the worst, and I can definitely see why a lot of fucking people hate it. I hate this thing with a passion. When I had to go to Transit on round 50, this weapon literally made me want to cry multiple times. And I only did like once or twice, you know, I was able to keep the tears back majority of the time. But man, Black Ops 2 starting out really didn't have a chance. It had the jet gun wonder weapon and Transit as a starting map. I'm still surprised anyone kept playing after that, but hey, we got Origins, which is a fantastic map. So I'm very curious to know which wonder weapons do you guys hate the most. Let me know in the comments, and if you guys could, please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Peace.